Hey everyone, William John Ray back with another episode of Design and Invest. In this episode, I am interviewing the famous Grant Linscott. I call him the Small Lot Ninja. He's quite the realtor with small lot developments, and we're going to be interviewing him and chopping it up. Let's first take a look at this property that we have behind us, and then we'll get into the meat of it. We are on the roof of these small lots over here. Grant, why don't you tell everybody about the area of this small lot, how many units we have here, just sort of an overview of what we're looking at here.
Yeah, 9 homes total. We have South Silver Lake. It's about as hip as it gets.
Yep.
The whole neighborhood here is transforming, so you got new shops, new dining, new housing coming all along, but in terms of new homes, there's very few.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the first one down here that we see excited new buyers. We go across to the other side of Silver Lake, it's way more expensive. It's actually getting hipper here than potentially over there where people think it's more,
because that's super built out over there. And it's easier over here to create the hipness and transform this area, I think. So you see more people taking liberties and things like that over here. All right, so yeah, Grant, what are these units going to go for? Or do you have a price in mind already?
Approximately in the $1.1, $1.2 million range.
I think you'll get it all day long, yeah. And the finish is really hip and cool here too. And like you said too, there's not very much out here that's on new construction homes for sale. So
that's right.
A huge factor.
And in terms of the views up here, we've sold more small lots than just about anyone in the city. These have the best views by far. Once you guys spin around, you'll see Hollywood sign, Ripley Observatory.
Trifecta, yeah.
Downtown. I met an appraiser who said the best view home he'd ever seen was on the hill over here. This just about gets that same view from a single family house.
It's pretty cool. Killer. Tell me about you. I want to know your story, Grant. What is your origin story? Where are you from? Just however you want to tell me the story. I'm very interested. I know a little bit, and I definitely want people to know sort of what made you get into real estate. How did you sort of get your start?
Yeah, I love people, I love negotiations, I love properties. I like variation, so LA has a little bit of everything. You'll have a French Normandy next to a Spanish, next to a mid-century, next to, you name it, the styles go on and on, but every home has a different story, and you'll have them all next to each other, so you get so much variety in Los Angeles, and that's what excites me. Is a home here may be worth completely different price than down the street, and just knowing that alone, there's so many factors that play into it, the unique areas, and anyways, I'm from San Luis Obispo, slow town, and went to San Diego State, so I'm an Aztec, business marketing, came to LA about 2004, 2005, and been in real estate the entire time.
How did you get your start in real estate? What brought you to sort of that avenue?
I always knew I wanted to own a lot of properties, so I figured what better than to know the ins and outs of it, and that was, learning as much as I could, and then guiding other people through it, and then I bought my first 2 properties 2007.
Did you get into real estate? Like you said, you wanted to invest and do all of that. Did you get your license initially just so you can do your own deals, or was it something that you're like, I'm going to be a realtor and I'm just doing this?
I wanted to become a doctor in real estate. That was my main thing. I wanted to know everything, the screws, the nuts, the bolts, the negotiations, everything. And then I could eventually apply it to myself, but it would take a long time for me to build up enough where I could do it on my own. So.
And I know that you have your own sort of, your own company, your own brand, Linscott team, is that right?
Yep, Grant Linscott
Group. And but that's within Keller Williams, is that correct?
It is, yeah.
And do you have your own offices? Do you share them with Keller Williams, or I've never been to your office?
Yeah, we have a big office, Keller Williams, but we also we have our own little team area, and we've expanded a lot.
Which office are you out of?
We're in Los Feliz.
Los Feliz, okay.
But we're all over LA. That's kind of what excites me. So we've been in Santa Monica, pretty much you name it, Bay Area town.
Your team, how big is your team?
We have 6 people right now.
6 people, including yourself, or on top of yourself?
Including myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a showing person, we have my main team manager, we have escrow coordinator, transaction coordinator, marketing team, so and a couple showing specialists, and 2 amazing buyers agents.
Yeah. And I noticed, I don't know if it was in one of your social media posts that you won an award last year. What was it for?
Top dog in the office. So we've been top 10 in the nation pretty consistently.
Top 10 in the nation.
With Keller Williams. There's over 100,000 people in the company. So
what did you do as a team last year in sales?
Last year we did a little over 60 deals.
60 deals?
Yeah, 60 deals total. The year before that was a little more. And this year we're hoping to almost double that.
Can you divulge the amount of real estate sold?
I want to say, I don't want to be inaccurate, but probably right around 65 million.
65 million?
Yeah.
That's a solid number. Yeah. And most of those were small lots.
A lot of them are small. We're probably 50-50 actually. Yeah. At one point we were way more resales, older homes, and now we're like
small lot ninja.
More small lot ninja. So
that's awesome,
we're probably more 50-50. This year might even be a little more 60-40 small lot.
How many small lots do you have going on right now that you're selling?
We have four developments right now, but a lot more coming up.
Yeah,
there's a lot of delays earlier this year with the rain, so we had some that were even like 6-8 months delayed. So.
Yeah, the rain hit pretty hard in LA this year.
Yeah.
And, caused a lot of delays.
But we're hoping to sell, we'll probably do at least 70 small lot homes this year.
It's amazing. That you're gonna double your numbers from last year. That's sick. So Grant, the way I met him originally was through my brother. He did a small lot. He sold a small lot for my brother in Frogtown, over on Alessandro, and that was 343 units. I designed it. I should know, right?
Yeah, 3 homes. Yeah.
And so that's how we got hooked up with each other. And he's brought in a lot of business for me, and I've tried to kick some stuff his way and scratch each other's backs. But Grant, he is the man when it comes to small lots. It really is a tricky thing to sell. You got to really know the ins and outs, and there's a lot of massaging and a lot of what are some of the main obstacles you see in small lots, either on the closing or a lot of these developers, I know they're still working on getting CFOs and things like that. What are some of the obstacles you see in these or objections?
It's just setting expectations for how long the CFO is anticipated to take. Tell people,
The CFO is certificate of occupancy, so if they don't have that in place, you can't close the loan, you can't, people can't move in, and so on and so forth. So
right. So just managing when they can move in, when the projects are going to be done. I always say never underestimate new construction buyers. They want everything to be perfect. It should be new. It should be delivered well. So if you're dealing with a level of sophistication, they want everything done, but they want it done really well. So we got to deliver.
Is there some hand-holding involved in that?
A lot of hand-holding. Yeah, these are a lot of times first-time buyers. This is kind of the break into the market.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of times they're in transitioning areas where they are just gentrifying. So we're seeing new shops and things come in. However, it's not all the way there. So anyways, it's getting them familiar with maybe new areas still.
And tell us about your investments and your properties that you own. I know that you dabble in that too, and I love it because I'm the same way, and so is my brother. And I think that to be, you got to be very diversified in any market and have not all your eggs in one basket. He's crushing in the real estate game, but also having those rental properties, as a nest for him and his family is pretty important. How did you get into that too? Did you just start throwing some feelers out there, or using your sort of connections to find properties, or how did you?
Everything I've bought, I actually have offered to clients first.
Okay.
And maybe either fallen out of escrow or canceled. So my goal is to buy one property a year. I want to be able to, I talk the talk. I want to walk the walk with all my clients. Yeah. So they look to me as as an avid investor myself. But I started off, we bought a duplex, my wife and I,
Nice.
and then we bought something else to rent out. And long story short, we ended up buying the two neighbors, so we own like a half an acre in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And that's something we could eventually build on and keep going. So.
And is that this near my brother's old place, right? Sunset and Gower.
Same street. Yeah, your brother's down the street from me.
Yeah.
We painted our houses the same color.
That's funny, yeah.
So, yeah, it's very walkable. I like buying with certain density of zoning. So it could not only be a house, but it could be an apartment building in the future.
Exactly.
Right.
So, Grant, how did you specifically get into small lots? Tell me, is there a story behind that?
There is, yeah. I actually found these guys some land in Hollywood. It was an acre of land that I pieced together. There was 5 different owners actually.
Whoa.
And I was able to piece them all together, do long escrows. And long story short, the guys appreciated the job I did.
How big is the property?
It's about an acre of land in Hollywood. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, in a transitioning part of Hollywood, but I passed my vision along to them. They believed in it. They
How long ago was this?
This was probably 2011, 12.
Oh.
Yeah, so I hadn't even.
It wasn't really a big thing. Yeah.
I had not even heard of small lot subdivisions. When we were first selling those, no one knew what they were. All the agents that came through.
Townhouses. What are
Yeah,
they?
what are these? Like condos? What's the deal? So anyway, it was a unique experience. But we sold the first phase of those homes, 14 homes, in about a month, which is like a record for the area. So anyways,
So people were ready for that. It is now a thing. So you basically revolutionized the LA market. The small you probably did. I bet you even the city wasn't quite sure on how to approve and sort of go through this process. You know, like that's really interesting, man.
it was brand new to everyone. Yeah, it was a new experience for everyone, from the developer to the inspectors to the buyer to the whole experience. So I learned a lot on that one, and
it's
a success.
With the job sites like this, it's just residential inspectors, right? It's just one inspector. It's not like a handicap parking or anything. That's the beautiful part about this is that you just get one inspector. You don't need like a commercial type inspector where they have different inspectors for every level of development. So that's like brilliant. That's a cool story.
That was a huge one. Yeah. And that really.
Do you still work with them?
Still work with them. I've done everything with them, as a matter of fact.
All their stuff they do.
Everything they do, I'm their guy.
Yeah, and word just spreads, man. I hear about this guy from people that don't even know that I know him. Like, like, oh, Grant this, Grant that. Like, when it comes to small lots, I'm not just boosting him up and talking to him. He is the master here in LA of small lots, and it's a big thing now. Small lots are popping up everywhere, and developers are eager. I mean, they trust me, they have their eyes on everything too. These developers are watching all the other small lots that are out there. You can pull records in the city and find out who's building small lots and what they're doing and stuff like that, and then all those sort of trail back to Grant over here, and he's carved out quite a nice little niche of these, and a lot of these they're pretty complex to build. It's not the easiest build. You'd be a lot better off just building duplex or something like that. But I mean, these are very desirable because people own this. They own this. They have common areas and stuff, but they own this house. This is their house, and the separation between the units only has to be like 5-10
approximately 5 inches.
Yeah, 5 inches, but there has to be a separation. Otherwise, it's classified as a townhome, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
If they're connected, they're townhomes. If they're separate, you own the land. Small lot subdivision.
It's a trip.
Yeah, we get a lot of phone calls from people just calling us to see what do we have coming up, what's new. So buyers call us, agents all around town say, what do you have coming? So we're actually selling out. We have a new 4-home small lot. We've sold out 3 of them already before we've even hit the market, which is very cool. And they're record prices. Awesome. The owners beside
See, this goes back to a point I made in some past videos. People think they really underestimate the power of a good realtor. They think that they can just throw it on the market. The market's going to do what it does. It's on MLS. People are going to find it. It is so not the case, especially with niche properties like this. Like he said, he hasn't even really begun his marketing approach. The properties aren't even fully finished yet or staged or whatever, and he's already sold how many units?
3 of the 4.
3 of the 4 units.
So we were going to have a huge grand opening. Now we're going to have to throw a big party.
That's nuts. You should put an astronomical price in that last one.
We probably will.
I would.
Yeah, we probably will.
That's crazy, man. And I visited that one before. I put a staging bid on that one. I remember it. What did you end up selling those or locking those up at?
We just put one in escrow, $1,425,000 by Pico Crescent Heights.
1.4 million.
1.425 million.
Wow.
And for about an 1850 square foot home. Now it's beautiful.
Yeah, he did a
but
good job.
He's getting close to over 770 a foot for the house. And in that neighborhood, it's a world record.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
And these ones here are going to go for approximately 1.2.
These will be in the 1.1 to 1.2-ish range. Yep.
These are going to be a slam dunk, and I'll be staging these units. The developer here, I've interviewed him in one of the past interviews. It's Daryl White. Daryl White does a lot with Grant. I do a lot of Daryl's design work as well as his staging and some Airbnbs for him and things like that. And Daryl's a real stand-up guy, and he's the kind of developer you want to work with because he sees value in all the right places. He knows to enlist people like Grant and myself to get the best product, and sort of also having us all in communication with each other really helps. I mean, like, I've sold a lot of furniture at the properties that Grant has represented because he knows, hey, what do you like that sofa? Let me call John, you know, and then like he passes along that way, and so there's like a direct line with him, his team, me, and my team, and it's a nice cohesive sort of pot. You know?
And the way that I value Johnny, I call him, is he's so flexible with all the staging opportunities. So in terms of every area, there's a certain niche. You can't stage a Silver Lake home the same as you stage a West Hollywood house. Johnny understands that, and
most people
know each other well.
Johnny,
but that's the flexibility and creativity of knowing your niche market and how to change and rearrange the furniture and positioning of it is everything for selling these and selling them fast. And people taking to the homes emotionally.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it really does come down to the way my mind works too is first and foremost from an investment point of view, and then design. You know, so I have a unique skill set in that I can see the value in doing things certain ways, and like you know, like with this client here, Daryl White. He's completely open. Like, we walk these properties very early before he's even finished, and I'll give him my 2 cents. I'm like, hey, there's some value adds that you can probably do here, or, you know, change this, change that, or, you know, add this, and he respects me, and so does Grant. So we walk these properties together a lot of times and just sort of spitball ideas around because, you know, it is important to think like that. Most designers, they're real good at spending your money and not thinking of, okay, well, will that $10 a square foot tile bring me, you know, exponential, you know, number, or can I pick a $2 square foot tile? In a lot of scenarios, you can pick a $2 square foot tile. You don't need to pick that more expensive tile just because, you know, and a lot of designers just do that. And for staging, I'm a practical stager. I put up TVs. I put up a lot of stagers. They don't do that. They do it more of like a studio shot. But I want people to know, like, I'm going to live here, and this is where I'm going to be situated, and you know, where am I going to put my TV?
That's a huge point. I get to you how many times you put a big piece of art on the wall and everyone goes, well, of course the TV goes there. Buyers don't see that. They have no idea where. They say they're looking at the huge piece of art. They're going, "Where do I put my TV?" And it's kind of shocking, actually. But if you actually put a TV there, which you know how buyers think, everyone is thinking that way. You can make a sale that way and have someone actually visualize themselves in a home as opposed to try to visualize themselves in something that's already staged and already selling a lifestyle.
Yeah. So Grant has a son, same age as my kid. We still haven't got them together for a play date. And my brother has two daughters that are of similar age, also like right in between our kids. My kid is about to be 4. His kid is 3.5. My brother has a 2.5-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old daughter, which is 5. I think so. Yeah. But yeah, let's get our kids together, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Take them to Chuck E. Cheese or something. My kid goes nuts at Chuck E. Cheese.
Golden would go crazy.
Yeah. I know you travel a lot too. Tell me about some of your recent travels or things that you've done.
Yeah, we went to Europe for 3 weeks. It's very important for us. You know, we work so hard. We're entrenched. This is all we think about when we're here. This is our passion, our love. Yeah. So we got to unplug sometimes, and I'm very big on telling everyone that. Yeah. You know, I try to pre-book my vacations, and no matter what we go on. We went to San Sebastian, Spain last year. Incredible place, one of my favorite places in the world. And we took 2 weeks there.
That's awesome.
unplug.
And it's good that you have a great team.
And I have a
too,
great team.
He doesn't skip a beat when he's gone, and none of his developer clients or home clients would even second guess that stuff's not getting done, you know.
When I leave, most of the time I'm not even missed, which makes me feel a little sad. but the good news is I got a well-oiled machine. We have top-notch people there, and
It's a great team.
And yeah, so book your vacations, come back refreshed and ready to tackle the world. That's how we live our.
Does your wife want to murder you on like weekends and like weeknights when you're just on calls and like, or is she pretty cool?
You know, she's pretty cool about it. We've been doing it a long time, and also one thing I've realized is when you drop everything for the person who's flying out of town. I've done it my whole career. I've never sold that person a property one time. So the person who's leaving has to see the home at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. They've never won spot. So I've stopped prioritizing that and pushing those people to the Sunday open house or private showing the next day. It's kind of an interesting thing. And this is from doing it probably 100 times.
Those urgency calls are usually
urgent calls have never worked out. Yeah, most of the time the people that want to buy something, they'll make time for it.
Yeah.
Just as I will if I'm buying a place. Hey, if I can't get in today, tonight,
that's an
I'm going to go
excellent
in tomorrow, the next day. So the whole, hey, we're leaving for a month, we're flying out to China, we got to see it today. Not one time. So.
Do you read any business books or have any recommendations on? Are you?
No, I read the Realtor magazine, Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Keller Williams, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay,
But yeah,
I always ask that question because it's one of those like, you know, I love business books and I've learned a lot from them, and I have recommendations that I give to people. I give books to people all the time, whether it's an art book or a business book or whatever, just something that I feel like they can get something out of, you know, things like that. But yeah, I'll have to give you some more books.
I'll have to check out some of your material.
Some cool books that I read.
Obviously, all the latest news, what's coming up. I have to be big on what's happening in the neighborhoods. What's coming in?
Yeah, that's true. Do you how about marketing? Do you send out newsletters and do like to stay in contact with your buyer pool and potentials?
We do big email blasts, big postcards. I know people think that it's kind of a thing of the past. Big social media, of course, but even touching people personally. If we know who our target demographic is, we will knock on their doors and give them the information and invite them to the open houses and things like that. So we're not above like very grassroots things, in addition to the Facebook, Instagram, social media stuff. That's awesome.
Hey Grant, I really appreciate you doing this for me. I know you're a super busy dude, and you know, I look up to you. You're amazing at what you do. I have a lot of respect for you, and you know, I really appreciate this. And guys, keep a lookout for him. I'm going to show you right now some of his properties that he's done, so you can see his sort of campaigns and sellouts, and you know, just do a little slideshow after this. It's going to look really cool. And remember, guys, design, invest, and repeat. Thanks for having me.